Hello, today we are going to turn one of the sketches you did of your name last week into a vectored, logo of your name. Let's go into Illustrator, click File, here, let me close this, File, New. Let's keep this in inches. Let's just do a 4 inches by 4 inches. Don't worry about anything else here. One artboard is fine. 4 inches by 4 inches. It can be any orientation because it's going, no matter what, it's going to be a square. So press create. And here is our new artboard. All right, first you want to import your sketches onto the artboard. To do that, go up to File, Place, and then find your assignment that you started last week and is due today of the name sketches, and we're gonna place it after my little wheel stops spinning. There we go. You're gonna see that there's a little preview image of it along with your cursor. If you just click right onto the artboard, it's gonna place it, and it's really big. So what I'm going to do is hold down this corner here while pressing shift, so not to distort the image. It'll keep it all proportionate, and we'll just keep making it smaller here until it fits on our artboard. All right. So I'm going to place it right here because I think I'm going to use this first one that I did. Right. You can click the background to unselect it. I need my layers palette set up here, so I'm going to go to Window, Layers, and there it is. You can see that our image here of our sketches is layer 1. I'm going to create a new layer by pressing the plus down here on top of this, and I am going to call it text. On this layer, I'm going to type over my sketch. So by doing that, I'm going to go to my tools panel over here, and this T for type tool, I'm going to click that, and as you can see where my cursor is, there's a little text box that will show up with that to show that you're on the type tool. If I just click on my artboard here or over my sketch, you're going to get default Lorem Ipsum text, but I'm going to change that to my name, and I'm going to do it in all capital letters, R-O-Y. When I press escape, it's automatically going to select my text. Okay, this text probably isn't going to work. I need something bigger and thicker, so I'm going to change it with it selected. Up here you can see that I have a text panel open. It's also at the top of your screen here, and we can just scroll right down, and because that type is selected, it's going to give you a preview of what each one looks like here. Oh, that was kind of fun. I have a lot of fonts already in here. You may not, but feel free to find any font you like on free websites such as dafont.com, or if you do have the Creative Cloud package, Adobe fonts you can download and just insert right into your programs as well. I'm going to pick Arial Black here. All right, and then again, I'm going to resize this, and keeping it proportionate, I'm going to hold down Shift and drag until it's a good size that I want here. All right, so this is probably a good size. I need to now manipulate these letters to more match what I want them to look like, which is this sketch right here. Also, I'm going to reselect my sketch image down here, and I am going to, it's a little distracting when it's 100% opacity. Right up here under my properties panel, I'm going to change that opacity to about 50% here. And that's going to make it easier for me to see the text that I'm working with. Okay, I can deselect that. To turn your letters into shapes, you can select the name and go up to type, and you are going to do create outlines. Now we have turned this text into shapes, but as you can see, they are all still connected, so I cannot manipulate just one at a time here. With your name selected, right here, you can press ungroup. You can also press object ungroup up here, or you can press Shift Command G. Now you'll see under your text that you have three separate shapes under your text layer here, your sub layers. I have an R, I have an O, and I have a Y. Let's see here. I am just going to select the R. You can do that by clicking right over here, or you can click each shape individually now. And I'm just going to actually move these two out of the way for now. So here's my R. I want to make it a little more like this R right here. And it looks like if I can just like rotate it a little bit here. All right. And if I go to my direct selection tool, remember the white arrow in your tools panel, I can click each of these dots called an anchor point, and I can manipulate each one individually. See that? I can click this corner one and I can drop it down like that. I can click this corner one and I can raise it up like that. Probably raise this one up a little bit too, or no. Let's see here. I'm gonna raise this one, and if I hold down Shift, I can select a second anchor point. And now when I move one of them, both of them will move. It's doing something a little wonky there, but it is all about practice and exploring. I'm gonna take this anchor point here and I'm gonna move it in a little bit. I'm going to click this anchor point right here, and you'll see I'll get my rounding corner bullet circle thing right here, and I'm gonna pull it in like that. I am going to click this anchor point and I'm gonna move that in a little bit. Maybe I'll move this one in a little bit. This one. Let's round that corner. around this one. I'm gonna round this corner a little bit, and this one. All right, I'm gonna zoom in so you can see a little better here by pressing Command plus. You'll see that if you click one of these anchor points, two handles will show up attached to them. This is for further manipulation. I can grab this one here. I can pull it out here, and it gives me an option to round this corner. So I'm gonna do that. There we go. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and make kind of a smoother curve there. These anchor points are really, these handles on these anchor points are very useful for just making your edges and curves look more smooth and not so jagged. There's a corner I'm going to round a little bit. Now you'll see that it doesn't look exactly like my sketch, but that's okay because I'm playing around and I'm finding that I like other things better about manipulating these shapes than I do on the sketch. So here is my R, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm gonna pause this, and then in just a second you'll see that I'm fast forward just a little bit through my other letters. So now you can see I've manipulated all three shapes that make up my name, and I'm going to move my Y right next to it here. I'm going to select all three here. One, hold shift, click this one, hold shift, click this one. Now all three are selected. Move it down here. You can see that I have in my sketch, my Y is a little bit behind my O, and my O is a little bit behind my R. So I am going to rearrange these sublayers that are the three letters / shapes of my name, and I'm going to put the Y behind the O. Let's see here. So R needs to be on top because you can see the whole R. The O needs to be under the R because this O is behind this R, and then the Y needs to be behind the O. So basically I just reversed. It was Y-O-R, now it's R-O-Y. And you'll be able to see this more when we change the color of each letter. So go ahead and click one of the letters. I'm gonna go right up to, let's bring it up by going to window up here, and then going to color. This slider of the CMYK spectrum shows up. I'm gonna click these three little lines here, otherwise known as a hamburger menu, and I am going to click show options. And now I can have a slider for each color on my spectrum. C being cyan, M being magenta, Y being yellow, and K being black. So say I wanna do maybe kind of like a sky blue. You'll find I use a lot of blue in my work for the R here. This eyedropper shows up when I click on the CMYK spectrum. Can I just click? Oh, it's kind of a nice color right away. But if I wanted to manipulate it or change the color of it by adding or subtracting either CMY or K from it, let's see, if I add more yellow, it'll turn kind of like this aqua color. I like that. I'm gonna keep that color. I'm gonna click on my O, and you'll see up here that the foreground, the fill, automatically changes to the color it is, which is black. I want to do maybe a kind of purpley pink for that color. I don't love this color, but I think I will if I add some cyan and make it a little more purple. Maybe if I add a little yellow here. There we go. It's kind of this light, I guess, plum color. And then let's click our Y, and I'm going to do maybe a greenish blue here. There we go. I'm gonna take out a little yellow here, and I'm gonna add a little cyan. There we go. Okay, so each letter, you're only required to do 2 colors for this assignment, but you can do more, of course, if you want. And now you can see when I go back to my layers palette, as I mentioned before, you'll be able to notice now now that the O is behind the R, if I click this O, it'll be behind the R when I drag it closer to it. Same for the Y. If I click the Y, which is behind the R and the O, when I drag it over, it's going to be behind those letters. And I'm actually gonna make this one a little bigger. I'm gonna resize it, but I'm gonna resize it unproportionately so I'm not gonna hold down Shift. I'm gonna make it a little taller here. I like that better. And I think I'm gonna actually make my R a little bigger too. There we go. All right. Lastly, I am going to delete the sketch layer simply by dragging it to the garbage on your layers palette. All right. I'm going to make this fit my artboard, and you can either drag your selection tool over all 3 of the shapes, or you can just click off to the right here where it says text, and I named my layers here where it says this. It'll select all the sub layers underneath it, and I'm going to zoom out by pressing Command-, and with all 3 selected, I am going to hold down Shift and resize it to fit my board better. And just for fun, I'm gonna go like that. There we go. All right, so this is pretty much the assignment for this week. The last thing I want you to do is hand in a raw .ai file of your assignment, and this is so that I can check to see that you have your layers organized and named. By doing that, go up to File. We're going to go to Save As. I'm going to call this name logo underscore. Let's just do our first name, since that's what the project is. And then you'll see it's a format, Adobe Illustrator. That is a .ai file, and you can press save. You don't need to worry about any of this right now. Just press OK, and then wherever it's saved to, that's where you'll access it to hand into this assignment submission folder. All right, looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Thank you.